We're here with Gavra, whose single was just recently released on iTunes. It's called We're Beautiful.
Yes.
You also just got back from touring over in Israel, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that and your background in
The story.
your story, your journey?
Well, I've been participating in the Eurovision Israel, which is, I don't know if Americans don't know about it, but it's really big in Europe. It's like a song contest. Every country in Europe, every year, send a representative, like a singer, to represent the country with an original song, and there are like some rules that you should write this song according to, but overall it's a competition, it's a singing competition. Europe gets to vote at the end, and you know, the best song wins. Like ABBA won the competition, Celine Dion won the competition. I don't know, there is the song Euphoria that won last year. It became a big hit even here. So yeah, that's what I did. I participated in the Israeli competition, to whom is going to represent Israel. So it was like national TV broadcast and all that.
What was that like, being over there and being broadcast on national television?
Well, it came as a surprise. Like, I didn't expect it at all. We wrote the song regardless because we wanted it to come out here. And my friend Tomer Adadi, which I wrote the song with, they called him because he wrote the song before, like 3 years ago, for an Israeli singer that actually went and represented Israel. So they called him and asked him if he wants to submit a song, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, we have a good song, so why won't we give it a shot?" And he submitted it, and like 4 days later, I was in the middle of rehearsals for Broadway Bears, the Winter Burlesque, and that's when I found out that we're going to compete, and I just bought a flight ticket to Israel, and you know, and on the way I was like making phone calls to dancers and production team to, you know, to build the number because it's a big competition. So.
Yeah. And now, how exciting is it for you to have the single released on iTunes?
Well, it's not only on iTunes, it's everywhere. It's like iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, any store you can name. I'm excited. I mean, it's, you know, my first single that is like out there and available for anyone to purchase it. So hopefully it's gonna become a hit here too. I mean, they play it in Europe already in radio stations. So
what was it like when you heard it for the first time on the radio?
it was it's just I needed someone to, you know, to wake me up or slap my face to just make sure that I'm not dreaming. We worked on the song for so long, like for at least a year before the competition, and it was like in a control remote with Israel because the music producer who produced the song was from Israel, and we were here, so it took so long. So I heard the song in different versions so many times. So for me to listen to it on the radio, it wasn't like I couldn't judge it anymore because I lost the first time listening to the song for the first time experience a long time ago. So, but I remember when I first listened to the song, the first version of it, I got goosebumps. I was so excited. I was like, that's amazing.
And what was the reaction like in Israel to the song?
Good. I mean, in Israel, this type of music is not very popular. I mean, it is popular if it comes from Rihanna or Beyonce, but an Israeli artist that does this kind of music, which is dance pop, they don't know how to beat it, but it's perfect for the competition, for the specific purpose, which is the Eurovision, because over there it's very, very popular. So they loved it, like the Eurovision fans, they love the song. They, I mean, I was the only unknown singer in the competition. Everyone else, I would say 95% of the singers in the competition, people knew who they were in Israel.
Did that put an extra pressure on you, or did it give you more of a push to do better?
Push, yeah, a big boost. I was like, okay, so let's show them who I am. You know, I came from New York. I believed in the song, so I knew the song is good. Now it's time to put on a show, a good show with like polished and professional, like like I know from here.
Right,
I've been doing musicals for a long time, so I know what a professional production should look like.
Talk a little bit about that background prior to you releasing your single.
Yeah.
I know you were a dancer, so why don't you talk about when you first wanted to become a dancer and your journey here to New York?
Okay, so that's actually an interesting story. I always knew how to move well. Like I was never a dancer in like my professional training. Like before I came here to New York, I never even took a dance class in my life. So music was there all the time. I was a singer since I remember myself. Dancing was here for the first time that I remember a friend of mine taking a dance class and was like, let's try it, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember that I obviously I didn't have any technique that the dancers in the dance class had, but I remember the teacher stopping the class and it was like, he used me as an example for someone who doesn't have training, but he has the performance skill. It was like, that's what it should look like even though you don't have a technique, because obviously he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, but he knows how to perform it.
Right.
That's when I knew I was like, I want to work on it and take classes and work on my technique, because the performance is there. I just need to have this. And that's when the teacher, Stephen Harden, he gave me a full scholarship for this, for his dance class. So I danced for free for a year.
Wow.
And then I went to school and got my training and auditioned and etc. 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 But that's how it started.
Now, do you feel more comfortable when you're dancing or when you're singing?
Singing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I love, like when I auditioned for musical theater production. My favorite part was going to the pianist, giving him my songs book, and go to the middle of the room and just sing. That was my favorite part.
What is the scariest part, or is there a scariest part for you? Was it nerve-wracking performing in front of all these people, either as a singer in Israel or as where were you more nervous?
In Israel or
doing your stuff here in New York?
Without a doubt, the Eurovision.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big. Like I would say the Eurovision itself, when it's in Europe, I can compare it to the Grammys. It's like huge. It's like millions of voters and viewers, and it's in Europe. It's like the biggest line. It's crazy.
What did you do to get over those nerves? And what advice can you give to somebody who's faced with maybe something not quite as daunting as that, but
Well, when I built my team, because it was me, 3 backup singers, and 2 dancers. So when I built the team, my first priority beyond talent, because I knew they were all talented, but what I wanted is good group of people with good energy, because when I'm performing or working on a project, good energy is things that is very important to me. If there is bad energy or like drama or divas, it's just, I cannot deal with it, and it affects me and my performance. So that's what I recommend. Just try to be surrounded by people people you worked before, people that gonna have your back. And also what helped me a lot, having my friend that I wrote the song with me during all this process. So he was there and I trusted him and his opinions and point of view. So, because you always need another eye to see what it looks like on TV, because
Right.
it's not like theater, it's on TV. So it's when I came to do this project, because I've been doing musical theater for 5 years, I thought what it should look like. I looked at the big picture
Right.
as a show to the audience in the theater where I perform. But you need to think what it's going to look like on the TV, people that are watching it in their living room.
Right.
Because it's two different things. Like I could just sit down on a chair and the audience who's watching in their apartments, they don't even know. So it's not even important. And I needed to get out of this theater way of thinking and think about TV. So that was a big challenge. But yeah, having friends and people I worked before that I trust, it helped me a lot. So.
What's one thing that keeps you grounded now that you have this song released? What is one thing that keeps you from getting your head blown out of proportion and saying like, oh, I'm
A star.
Judah. Yeah, a star, exactly. I was going to say a diva, but...
A diva? Well, I don't know. I guess it's the way, a lot of it is the way my parents educated me and raised me. Other thing is that I don't believe, part of my personality is just being down to earth. That's,
Right.
I guess, my charm. But what keeps me down is, well, first of all, the song is not where I want it to be yet. But besides that fact, I don't know, I guess that's the person I am. I came from Israel, you know, small country, small city. So coming here and living the dream is, I always remember where I came from and where I started and who are my friends, because at the end of the day, those are the friends that are gonna stay with you and stick with you, because it's not the people you pick along the way when you are very successful and doing good things. It's the people who were there from the beginning and believed in you way before you became a star.
A lot of people should keep that attitude and have that attitude, because when you get mega successful, you don't know whether those people are hangers on or whether they're, you know, using you for your fame. And now people who have stuck with you throughout.
I think it was Bette Midler who said, be nice to all the people on the way out, because you're going to meet them
on the way down.
On the way down.
That's right.
So that's one thing that I always remember. And besides, you don't know who and where are you going to meet again.
Right.
And where he's going to be in 10 years from now.
Right.
So like, well, when I went to school, they always told us, be nice to everyone. Don't have a nasty attitude, you know, be professional, because you want those people to have you on their good list, because you don't know where you're going to meet them again.
That's right. And so what's next for you? Why don't you talk a little bit about you know, what's coming up in promotion of your single and beyond?
Well, right now we're promoting the song here. It came out officially on iTunes like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's still pretty fresh out there. So we're trying to promote it, you know, using all the social media, which is Facebook and emails and flyers, which is the old generation of promoting.
Yes, hey.
And you know, using people we know, DJs, to play the song. We're shooting a music video to the song in 2 weeks.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, which is gonna be out, I believe, after editing and everything, in like 3 weeks, three weeks a month.
So it's a fast turnaround, pretty fast turnaround.
You know, we're going with a very simple concept, something that is very young and fun, summer, because that's what's the song
Absolutely.
about. And there is a second single that is waiting patiently to come out, because we want to push. You can hear the song, it's not out officially, but I performed the song on the main stage in Pride TLV.
Okay.
Right before I came back to New York. So I performed with this single, We're Beautiful, and the second single, which is called Stay, but it's not out officially yet. But we just wanted to give people a taste.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna come out soon too, but after this. And currently working, writing a new song, producing a new song. And you know, it's amazing, like, how many people you meet along the way, like when you're doing things, like, and that's one thing that I learned is just create all the time, even if you don't have anything to do with it or like specific goal.
Right.
Just create, because you don't know, someone will one day will tell you, do you have something to submit to the Eurovision? That's
Yeah,
exactly what
that's
happened,
what happened to
me.
you, right?
And we had a song, and the rest is like, you know, you grow from every little experience, and it's amazing.
Well, right place and right time, but don't diminish your talent either, because obviously it wouldn't have reached the level it's at now if you didn't have any talent behind you.
Well,
so,
thank you.
So,
But also, you know, yeah, obviously, a talent is the start
the
point.
main case.
That's the base where you build everything on.
Yeah.
But you gotta have ambition, and you need to want to be successful. You know, nobody else will knock on your door and be like, oh, hey, we heard from, you know what I mean? You need to show it. You need to create with it. You need to, you know, back in the days, go and audition, you know, and be on the top of your shit.
Yeah.
Oops.
Judah, we look forward to hearing what's ahead for you in the future, both musically and stage-wise, and we thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview.